Good afternoon, viewers. This is your lecturer, Sampson Opoku Amoah, Safety Officer. Newly introduced channel, YouTube channel called SAMSOF TV is eager and ever prepared to take you through series of lessons purely based on safety. And areas that we are going to cover, we have fire safety, first aid, personal safety, work safety, and the environmental safety as well. So today, as a new introduced course, I'm taking you through what we call as fire safety. And the information on your screen, if you need any further explanations or any questions, you can channel it through this email or the 0273543863 is my WhatsApp number, so you can WhatsApp me through all these areas. What is safety? Safety in general is a state in which hazards and conditions leading to physical, psychological, or material harm are controlled in order to prevent the health and well-being of individuals and the community. It is an essential resource for everyday life, needed by individuals and communities to realize their aspirations. So, what is fire? When we talk of fire safety, I'll put it in this way. We have the preventive measures plus the protective measures that we put in place will give us precaution. So in simple put, P plus P is equals to P. Mathematical expression of what? Fire safety. What are precaution measures? So when we take the first P, which is the preventive measures, is in a form of education, like I'm doing. I'm educating you to throw more light, create the awareness of fire and its what? Consequences. So, after knowing the nitty-gritties or the dangers that fire poses, we will take what we call as what? Protection. We will protect ourselves against that by employing in firefighting means. Example, we have fire extinguishers, we have the dry chemical powder, the CO2 extinguisher, fire blanket, we have foam, and so on and so forth. And then some of the protective measures, we have advanced warning devices like the smoke detector, we have the sounders, the siren, the bell, and so on and so forth as well. And then when we have all these things in place, the fire, they are bound to happen. So as soon as accidentally they happens, we lay our hands on the protective measures that we provided to mitigate, or let's say to battle the fire itself, in order to prevent it from causing a greater harm unto us. So when we have all these things in place, then we say that we have taken what? A precaution. So let's come by the definition of a fire. What is a fire itself? Fire is a chemical chain reaction between heat, fuel, and oxygen in the right proportion that produces heat and light. This is a layman's understanding of what? A fire. The fire process, fire safety, and the procedures. Before a fire will start, fire needs three elements. In simple put, we term it as a fire triangle. The element needed for a fire to exist are three elements, and they enable the fire to start and survive. These are heat, fuel, oxygen. If any of these three elements are greatly reduced or removed, then the fire itself will be what? Reduced or extinguished. So formation of a fire. The fire triangle or that of the fire tetrahedron. When we say tri means three. So fire triangle means three-sided figures of the fire. And then when we take the tetrahedron, tetra means four. So the fire has migrated from 8 triangles elements to the fourth element. And what is the fourth element? As we know, the 3 elements, we have oxygen, heat, and fuel, as on the screen. And then when we take the fire tetrahedron, we have the oxygen on the one side, the heat source on the one side, the fuel source, and the fourth element, which is what? The chemical chain reaction, as presented on the screen in a green background. The fire tetrahedron, the heat source, as you can see, we have the lit cigarette, we have lit match, we have energized motor, the air source, which is the oxygen. Then we have the fuel source. We have a piece of wood, leak oil, and then pieces of papers. So all these things, they form the fire tetrahedron. And then we are saying that fire safety at its most basic is based upon the principle of keeping fuel sources and ignition sources separate. We can have the 3 elements present, but when they are not combined, there's no way they will result into a fire. The idea is simple. Take your own room as a typical example. Your room, you have fuel sources. You have the set of furniture in your room. You have pieces of clothes, your clothing that you wear, your shoes, your bags, your books. All these things, they form part of what? Fuel sources. And then when we take that of the heat sources, the electricity that we are using, the electrical appliances, you can talk of your radio set, your television set, that of your refrigerators, your ironing, and other things. All these things, the appliances that you use, they form part of what? Ignition sources. When you use this appliance, the probability of them starting a fire is high. And then we have the oxygen. Oxygen is in abundance, and this is what any human being based on for survival, because we breathe in what? Oxygen. So now, have you seen that you have all these things around you, but there's no fire in your room? The idea is that you have been able to separate the fuel source and ignition sources separate. That is why there is no fire. But when as soon as the fourth element is being introduced, that is bringing the heat source and the fuel source together, the oxygen will intervene, and then the reaction will take place. Then the end result will be what? The fire outbreak that we see. So, dear friend, always ensure that you separate the fuel sources from the ignition sources, and we have a fire free. Then we have classes of fires. When we talk of classes of fires, fires are divided into types or classes depending on the fuel, for that matter, the material burning. And each class of a fire requires a different method of what? Extinction. The extinction, in simple way, that is what you people know as what? Quench. So we use these alphabets to classify the fires. We have class A fires. Class A fires consist of ordinarily what? Combustibles. When we say combustible, the processes of what? Burning. So any material such as ordinary paper, wood, plastics, and etc. are considered as what? Class A fires. Whenever they are burning, they are considered as what? Class A fires. And the suitable extinguishing medium is water, H2O. When you apply water on all these materials, the fire will what? Extinguish. And then we have the class B fires. These are fires that consist of what? Flammable liquids, or usually refers to as what? Liquefiable solid. Flammable gases are also part of class B fires. Previously, the gaseous fires were separated from the liquid fires, but now the two have been what? Combined for us to get the class B. Previously, the gaseous fires were classified as class C. So, typical example of liquid fuels are petrol, diesel, kerosene, alcohol, paint, turpentine, and etc. Gases are, for example of gases, we have LP gas, acetylene gas, butane, ethylene, and etc. These materials, they burn profusely at their incipient stages when they come in contact with a naked flame. However, they produce less smoke. So when all these materials are involved in fire, they don't produce much smoke as compared to Class A fires. Class A fires, they produce a lot of smoke whenever they are burning. It is necessary that materials of such nature are always confined to safer places and out of reach of children and other non-users. Best extinguishing medium is either the dry chemical powder or the carbon dioxide, or even that of foam. When you apply these materials on them, the fire will extinguish. But the suitable one among the three is the foam. We have Class C fires. Class C fires consist of fires that involve energized potential electrical equipment. This system was introduced by or designed by the US as a Class C. Then the Australian system designed them as a Class E fire. So previously it was the Class E, but now as we have been adopted to that of the Americans, we are using the Class C. So this sort of fire may be caused by a short circuiting, faulty machinery, or overloading of electrical circuit. When we say short circuiting, we all know that electricity travels in a straight line. So along the line, when there's a break, then the power will try to force its way to reach its destination, and then doing that, you see that they will be tripping, so it will create a spark, and this spark can cause a fire. In other words, you can say arcs and other things. And then faulty machinery, the machines that one may be using might be at fault. So since the machine is faulty, it can also generate a fire. Then overloading of electrical circuit, since the power being drawn by the individual, the machines that we'll be using might be drawing a heavy required amount of amperage. So for that matter, if you are using the machines, watch them closely, because the amperage that they are drawing, it can lead to overloading of the circuit. These fires can be a severe hazard to firefighters using water on them or other conductive agents. Electricity may be conducted from the fire through water to the firefighter's body. Don't forget, water is a good conductor of electricity. As well, the firefighter who is also fighting the fire is also a good conductor of electricity. So the electricity energy will pass through the water and onto the firefighter, and this one will lead to electrocution. So through water to the firefighter's body and to the earth. So electrical shocks have caused many firefighters death. That is the reason why now the firefighters have developed a strategy by calling or liaising up with the electricity company. So whenever there is a fire outbreak and they find the need that there is electricity involvement, they call the ECG to switch off the mains so that they will be able to execute their job. And this is where the general public doesn't know. They fight the fire officers. Please desist from that, because not all fires, after this lecture, you understand that it is not all fires that requires water as extinguishing medium. Class D fires. These fires are the fires that consist of combustible metals. When we say combustible metals that burn, such as zirconium. I have written it short on the screen for you. We have sodium, potassium, and etc. The suitable extinguishing medium is dry chemical powder. It's good on such fires. Then we have the last but not the least as Class F fires. These Class F fires it was also part of Class B fires initially, but now it has been separated. They consist of flammable fats. For that matter, edible fat. We have example margarine, palm oil, olive oil, and etc. When all these things are burning, never attempt to use water as an extinguishing medium, they need to be covered by either the fire blanket or a lid. When you cover the saucepan which is on fire with a lid that can cover the surface, it will lead to what? The extinction of the fire. So now, upon going through the fire science, we notice how fire starts. We are also going to learn how to extinguish fire at their early stages in our next topic. Thank you for watching this, and try to share them among your colleagues. Thank you very much.